database, it can tear transactions whilst they're in progress. So what you actually need is a bare metal backup technology that will first talk to the database, say, look, we're about to take a snapshot, please cease all activity. The database will then commit all the transactions it's working on and not initiate any new transactions. Backup technology takes a snapshot. Backup technology then tells the database, hey, I'm finished, you can keep going again. Now that's really complex stuff, but really, really important when you're dealing with business databases. And when I say database, you've got to remember that Exchange is a database, SharePoint is a database. All of the CMS systems and medical ERP systems that a lot of our partners are deploying are all database driven. So it's extremely important. But a question, why does the pie chart on transactional backup only show 75%? Good question. Great catch. Because we don't have native technology for all platforms. So there are, maybe 50 major database systems out there in the market. The lion's share of them are taken up with things like Oracle and SQL Server and MySQL. But we don't have universal support for all of those things. Nobody does. So what we focus on primarily are the Windows prevalent database technologies, Exchange, SharePoint, and SQL Server. And that accounts for about 90% of the deployments that we see as a company. Hopefully, so let me all know if that was enough on transaction consistent bare metal, and I'll move on. Okay, cool. So again, just sort of one-upping SOS against our competition. And of course, this presentation is available to you. You can get it from our partner specialist. You'll also get an email with a video link. But you'll see that, generally speaking, the SOS technology stack is just absolutely the fullest in terms of all of the technology that we deliver to you, and very importantly, at no hidden cost or price. With all of our competitors, you get a basic package, but then when you want to go and say add central management or add monitoring, there are additional fees that are not immediately apparent. Whereas with SOS, the pricing is just very straightforward. Everything that you're hearing about today is just included as part of the base package. These slides, just some screenshots of the software which you're about to see, the awards we win. So this is the latest PC Magazine Editor's Choice Award that we've recently won. These slides also just talk about the progression of the industry and SOS as a company. So I won't dwell a lot on these slides, but this sort of matrix is laying out on the y-axis. We've got the industry segments you could target: consumers, micro businesses, small businesses, enterprise laptop or endpoint fleets, and then enterprise data centers. And across the top, we've got the different types of backup that you can use: bare metal to the cloud, bare metal local, SQL Server backup, Exchange Server backup, file folder backup, and then mobile backup. 5 years ago, this is where SOS was focused. So we were focused on micro business and small business in the file folder space. Today, SOS and our partners focus on this entire landscape. So we've got a suite of technology solutions which really allows you to sort of pick any of these spots on this matrix. Most of our partners would only sort of circle maybe 6 of these when they're focusing on, I beg your pardon, when they're articulating what market it is they're focusing on. And so it is a useful exercise, for everybody on today's webinar is, okay, which of these markets do you want to focus on? Is it selling endpoint backup to enterprises for their laptop fleets, which is a huge market opportunity right now? You could build an entire business just focused on that. Or is it doing bare metal to the cloud for servers sitting in enterprise data centers? You could build an entire business on that. Most of our partners, however, focus on these 2 rows and the entire rows, which is various backup solutions for micro businesses and small businesses. And in those environments, you've got to really handle a wide array of technology sort of environments. So everything from just Windows-based workstations with maybe a Windows XP box in the corner pretending to be a file server, all the way through to having real server farms running Exchange and SQL and Active Directory and a fully managed network. So this is a useful sort of slide to look at and figure out which parts of the market are you really focusing on. But knowing that there's an SOS product that fits your needs, so long as you can sort of paint yourself on this slide. Economics and pricing. So I think we'll probably come back to this, but the way the pricing model works is basically you sign up for one of our partnership programs, and that gets you a whole bunch of stuff. So for example, with ServerSave 5, our basic product, you get 5 server seats, 1,000 endpoint seats, it's a terabyte of cloud space. It costs $400 a month, or you can pay annually. Now, the recommended retail price on this is $129 per server per month. So if you sold these 5 servers, you're making $256 per month in profit margin. So again, the recommended retail price for ServerSave is $129 per month. A lot of our partners actually mark that up even higher and sell it for $250, $300. Jeff, what's the highest we've heard of partners selling it for?
Middle 500s.
Okay. So this is the recommended price. If you're white labeling it, you can sell it whatever price you like. And you're buying it from us at, it starts at $80 per month and goes all the way down to $35 per month with volume. So you're making at least $50 per month margin so in the basic scenario, you're making $246 per month. But of course, most of our partners start there and very quickly move up to sort of the larger levels and are making thousands of dollars per month in profit margin.
And to add on that, one common question that we get is, do I have to utilize my entire cloud space for the licenses that I deploy? And the answer to that is no. If the 5 customers that you are deploying a license for ServerSave only require, say, 700 gigs of total cloud space, then that still gives you 324 gigs that you can sell file and folder accounts to at, of course, additional profit for you. So think of it as 2 profit centers that you have, the file and folder crowd and the server crowd that requires the enhanced functionality that ServerSave has to offer. So great profit points.
And that'll often be the same business. So a business that's got a server is usually going to have 10, 15, 20 endpoints to back up as well. Yes, there's file folder, I say endpoint, but we're talking about the same thing. We're talking about laptops and workstations. So a typical package you'd sell to your customers might be 10 endpoint seats with 1 server seat. And of course, you're not then going to sell that for $129 a month. You'll sell the server piece for at least $129 a month, and then the endpoints for however you're pricing it. So this 246 is really the worst case number. Yeah.
I'd love to hear from you guys how many laptops or workstations most of your clients have within their offices that you'd be backing up.
Well, actually, I've got a different question.
Okay.
First. How many of your customers have a server? So that's like, would all of your customers have a server? Would just some of your customers have a server? Usually the answer to this question is that all of my customers have at least 1 server.
That was Mike's answer.
Brad says 90% have servers. Dan says all of his customers have servers.
Perfect.
Mike says 95% of his customers have servers. We've got some people who clearly don't want to win the Kindle. Remember, folks, you got to ask a question to go in for the Kindle.
Mike has 20 to 200 workstations.
Okay.
Very cool.
Great. Okay, we'll keep that feedback coming in. Oh, we've got Michael's got a question here. Do you manually have to click the file to back up like Carbonite, or does yours run fully in the background? Yeah, Michael, it'll run fully in the background on a schedule. So when we get to the demo in just a minute, you'll see this. But we set it up one time, and you set it up to run, say, daily, and thereafter it's just going to run that backup automatically.
Dan's question on virtual servers.
Oh, sorry. Dan, do you offer the option of a PXE boot for recovery? John, do you know what PXE boot is?
It's a booting from your network card.
Do we offer that?
No, it's not offered right now. I mean, there is a recovery environment is an ISO, so if you're able to load that ISO in possibly some tool with Active Directory, you probably could have it load via PXE, but you'd have to do that yourself using the ISO.
Okay, great. We've got a question. Do you support VMware? So George, we don't have like a native connection into the VDK to read out of ESX server yet. We are working on that, so you'll see that by the end of the year. And we're working on a partnership with sort of a leader in the space around this particular topic. So keep your ears peeled for news on an upcoming version of SOS with native VMware backup and recovery. Mike says, what sort of reporting do you have to test and verify? Mike, we're going to see all that reporting functionality in the demo, so I'll kick that one forward if that's all right.
I think you'll be quite impressed by that, Mike.
All right, so let's get to the demo. What we're going to see in the demo today is a few different things. So the demo environment involves a server group that we're sort of simulating here for today's webinar. We're going to demonstrate backup and recovery of various applications, so Exchange, SQL, file server. We're going to see it backing up directly to the cloud, as well as through a local staging environment. So jumping ahead one slide, we get an environment that kind of looks like this. So the right-hand side of this slide is think of it as the SOS cloud. And you can kind of just ignore everything in there unless you're really interested in our back-end architecture. On the left-hand side of the slide, we've got the customer environments. So at the top, we've got a company depicted in the light blue box, and at the bottom, we've got other devices that would move in and out of this company network. So starting at the bottom, because it's simpler, we've got Macs, we've got PC laptops, we've got iPads and Androids and iPhones, and they're moving in and out of the company environment. But we really don't care because they're backing up directly to the SOS cloud. Not a lot of complexity there, just our award-winning software on all of those endpoints. When it comes to the company environment, you've got a couple of different options. So obviously workstations within this company environment could back up straight to the cloud. And similarly, for servers with relatively small payloads, you could back up straight to the cloud. So where we sort of cut that off is roughly a terabyte, but you could go smaller than that. So the alternate pattern of deployment is to actually route data through a staging server. So this is the type of thing where you, the partner, could sell a backup appliance. So picking an audience member, we could have Michael code as backup appliance, and you can sell that to your customers for, pick a number, maybe $8,000, and then have a managed backup contract that goes on top of that for a monthly fee. And in this deployment pattern, you'd install SOS software on the servers you're backing up, as well as install SOS software on this staging appliance that you sell, and the backup would run through the staging environment up to the SOS cloud. So two patterns, and we'll see them both in the demo effectively. So in the demo, we're going to run through the dashboards that you use to manage your business, as well as the dashboards you use to monitor your backups. Then we're going to see backing up a file server, then backing up an email server, and then looking specifically at the sort of the generalized recovery and reporting interfaces that we've got that underpins all of this stuff. All right, so John, do you want to take over and drive?
Yeah, that sounds good.
All right, so John's going to just set up his demo. Why don't we use the time to answer some more questions? So we've got one question here from Michael, and I'd encourage everybody else to ask questions too. Michael's question is, if a customer has 3 office branches, all tying in one central server, do they need multiple licenses or just the one for that main server? Michael, really depends how you want to sell it. If I were you, I'd sell them a license for each site. But if you couldn't sell them a license for each site, then you could actually deploy it on just that one server. So you could really do it both ways. But it's probably a bigger sale for you if you got them to deploy it in each of the satellite sites.
Okay, so hopefully we can see the demo server okay. And what we have here is the SOS partner dashboard. Now, this is supposed to be just a site where a user partner can go to and basically be connected to SOS in every way possible. So right off the bat, you see it is very simple. There's not a lot of information on the page, just what you need. And we have news right here and updates. Right here, we say, hey, if you need some help, call the partner support hotline. People standing by to help you with creating an account, installation, and instruction. Hey, what does this mean? Whatever you need there, doesn't matter, that they'll help you. And then down here, we have the business part of it, is where you need to just simply create a backup account for your customer. And you click on this button here, and you can see that right away we have a form to fill out, so your customer's first name, last name, email address, all the information that tells you who they are. And then down below we have the different backup plans. Now these backup plans we have here are just generic ones we've added. The backup plans that will show up in your portal will probably could be 1 gig through a terabyte, whatever you like. You just tell us when we deliver your product to you. But you select that and submit, and then an account has been not created. So now a customer can just simply go and back up their Windows, PC, laptop, or server by installing the backup product. I'll show you that in a second. The next part of it here is the server backup and recovery. This is in regards to the backing up as an image and also recovering with Exchange. So I click on Manage Licenses, and sorry about that, you can log back in. As you can see here, we already have one user that's been assigned a license key for the image backup license and also EGR. And I have another available license to assign a new user. So let's say we just created a backup account on the previous screen, and now I just want to assign that license to a customer, type it in there, and that's it. It's all done. So now that I have an online backup account created and I have licensing, I can now download the SOS Server Backup Client, which is ServerSave. And ServerSave is an executable that we designed to help you get your software installed very quickly and also license it at the same time. So once you download that, you run it. There's no need to install anything. You just run that, and I'll show you that when it comes up here in a second.
And I can see that Mark Natal, or Natali, has raised his hand in the software. Mark, if you go on ahead and use the question section, you can actually just type in your question, and we'll answer that. And Kerwin is asking for us to go through the appliance scenario again. Kerwin, I'll do that at the end of the demo. And Michael is asking, the client uses cloud and later needs to make an update to the backup settings. Do they need to call us, or are they able to do the changes themselves? Michael, either or. If you're selling this as sort of a hands-off, do-it-yourself kind of service, then your customers would do it themselves. If you're selling this as a fully managed backup solution, you would probably do that for your customers as part of what you're as part of the managed backup service contract that you're offering them.
I have a little trouble logging into this at the moment. So this is logging. Usually it's instant when it logs you in. Sorry guys, I'm going to go right into the software. I've already installed everything. I've already licensed everything. So we're going to go into that right now. So the biggest piece about this is the, I have it running, is the Online Backup and Recovery Manager. This latest version here, this has a slightly different name, and one of the great things about it is we knew that, you know, as time is going on, people have bigger backup sets, bigger files to back up, and so we actually rewrote this piece of software to support, you know, millions of files on a backup set on a server, back up your images to the cloud or huge files, whatever it is. Also, you know, this backup agent here is 40% faster than our previous clients that we had. And so when Ken was saying earlier it's the fastest in the market, that it really is true. It also uses less cache space on your system. So it's kind of the old school methodology on my backup was you had to copy a file to your system first, compress, encrypt, zip, and upload. Well, this skips all that and just starts uploading your file right away, and at the same time compressing and encrypting while it's uploading. It's pretty great technology there. So I'm going to go through setting up online backup. It's just basically 2 steps. Set up online backup. Select your driver folder you want to back up. Additionally, you know, on the server, it has Exchange installed on it, but let's say it's a small business server as well. You probably also want to back up your important data, maybe a user folder. You go and click on that folder as well, maybe some desktop, documents information as well. It doesn't really matter. We can do everything in one backup job and have it all be automatic. So I've selected my F drive for backup. I'm also going to select, let me see here, let me just create a new file here. Do that. So I got my data selected, and I hit next. This is the last step. I just want to make sure that I have all these correctly set. I do want to back up when I'm logged off, so I enter my information there. After I do that, then I would put my frequency. And some of you may need backups more frequently than others. So we have hourly backup here, daily, weekly, monthly, and an email report. So you type in your email address or 2 email addresses, whatever you like. After the backup finishes, you'll get an email telling you how many files were backed up, how many were not backed up. If you get a number that's not backed up, you'll be able to just simply scroll down about an inch or 2 and see which files have some errors, and it'll actually give you the name and the path. Okay, so we'll just start back up here, and that's it. So setting your backup is very fast, and there's no need to complicate everything. And you can see here we have a nice little backup window, and this is telling us which files are going to be transferred, and it says okay when they're done. This is very quick, and if there's any errors, it's written down here below. Also, within our on the backup recovery manager, we have a local backup option. Now, this is separate from backing up as an image. This is designed to back up probably more local backup of folders and files on a workstation, like a PC or laptop. So you can set that up, do a local backup, and it'll hook the files for you. And you can save that to a local device, like a NAS or a map drive or something else. We also have our restore button here. So I just want to point out how easy it is to navigate everything. We've done all the complicated work and we've hidden it from you, so you can just basically back up or restore very simply. So let's say, let me back up a second. We don't charge license fees for this application you're looking at right here. So you're able to install it on a Windows machine, back up right away, no activation necessary. You're able to even install it on a different system. Let's say you needed a file or a bunch of files. You'd be able to install that very quickly on a Windows box, log in, and just do a restore. That provides you very fast access to your files. As you can see here, I have bold dates on anything that's available for recovery. So when I pick that date, I'm going to be able to restore anything or everything up to that date. Now, I wouldn't want to restore all my systems right here, but I could if I wanted to. You can also select one folder from one system and then another file from another, and then do a recovery.
And this is super important right here because there's no other backup software that makes it this simple. We're seeing here an entire server group. So if you look at this here, all of these machines that John's got here in the demo environment, these are all servers of various stripes and flavors, and he's got a couple of workstations. One's called Boardroom, one's called Wagner. And what he just did was on the previous screen, he picked a date, okay, and then he got to this screen. And so it's basically giving you a network-wide snapshot of all of your environments to that date. And I'm still not aware of any other product that allows you to roll back an entire group of machines, manage the recovery of an entire network with sort of network-wide snapshots. So you got one central pane of glass here where you can manage recovery for all your servers in a group. And two, because it's tied to the unlimited versioning system and our archiving system, this is where you can literally roll back, my group of workstations and laptops back to 2008, or John's demo group here back to any date in the last 6 months, and do the entire group consistently and together, which is extremely powerful. And I hope it helps to start answer the question we had. I've forgotten the gentleman's name, but the question about how recovery and reporting works. So generally speaking, you can use one central pane of glass to manage everything.
Yeah, I'll just add to that too. If you were needing to recover that information pretty fast from a system that you didn't back up, installing the software on a different computer usually means you have to activate it or pay extra for that. That takes a lot more time to get your file back. Not with us. You install it, log in, and you can recover anything you like. So I'm going to recover 2 files from 2 different places. Because I want to include the original path of the file, I don't want to have any issues with file names being too long by recovering to this path here. So, but if you want just the files back, uncheck it, restore there just fine. But I do want original path. I'd like the organization that comes with it. So just so I don't have any long file names, I'm going to make sure I recover to the root of a hard drive and hit finish. And what I'm going to get here, I'm going to get a folder for each system I'm restoring and all the subfolders inside of those as well. Now, while that's going there, it should take a couple seconds, but we also have the web portal, which I'll show you in 1 second. But then we also have the classic view. It's another place you can go and recover your files, see the same system show up. I can then open these up very quickly, and I can see what files I have. And if there's a version drop-down button right here. And this is also the place you go and delete files. Just right-click and delete. Very simple. That's all you do. So going back here, I can open this folder. You see I have a folder Boardroom right here, and I have a folder Laptop Demo 3. This is the original path I'm talking about before. So I just go in here and drill down, and I find the file that I wanted. It's really great for organization, and you do multiple machine recovery. Now I'm going to go to the web portal, and I think I prematurely closed the software. Sorry, guys. Now the web portal can be accessed from just by the website itself. We have the link here in the software. It's convenient. But you, as a partner, we want to give you, of course, it comes with being a partner, is an e-commerce web application. And there is a link to the web login for your customers if they want to do that.
And on this screen, you'll notice it's branded to Acme, which is sort of a little tip of the hat to Wiley Coyote. But the branding is just to demonstrate our white labeling capabilities. We've got a lot more partners these days who want a co-brand, so they want it to be, again, picking on a customer, Tony Fitton's online backup, powered by SOS, and sort of use the awards. But if you want to go completely white labeled, then this gives you a sense of sort of what the white labeling looks like. Generally, it's a lot more dynamic and interesting than this one, but this just sort of shows you how we can strip the SOS name off of everything if you want that.
And then, so another thing, we try to easy recovery, access your files. We really try to focus on that heavily. And here's another place that you can quickly get a file back or share it with somebody. So if you're in need, you just go to a web browser, get to the web login and log in here, access all your systems, as you can see here below. And the greatest thing about this, or one of my favorite features, is that the sharing feature. As an IT person, as someone who dealt with backup before, whenever a user needed to recover something, I had to go usually on site and find the correct tape, put it in, do a recovery, and then get that file to the user. That takes some time to do. And this, I get all this done in about under a minute. Now, because I'm using Internet Explorer on the server, it's just going to be some issues with security restrictions. So I'm just going to go right to our website, show you the web login link, and log back in again. Just take me a second. Okay, so you're at the same place. So what I want to show you here is I go into a server and I find a file. And I can keep drilling down to wherever I want to go. So here we go, here we have a file here. And I can just share this. Type in the name of the share. I'll just call it share for now. You're able to type in a little short email message so they know who it's coming from. It'll come from your business. And you can say, hey, here is that file you lost. You owe me one. Try a little joke with them about